During my school years, I have often found myself debating what planning system is the best one. I was switching back and forth between various types, trying to find the one that suits me the most. I tried going with classic printed planners for years. Then came the bullet journal trend, and I was very drawn to the idea, so I stick to that one for some time as well. Then after some time I felt like the analog way of writing things down might not be the way to go for me, and I tried going all digital to see if that would work for me. Let's start with the trusty old classic printed planner. I was drawn to the idea of having my own planner ever since I saw my mum having everything neatly written down and organized for future use. I remember always being so excited at the beginning of the new year to get myself a planner, promising myself that this is going to be the year when I will get everything done, stay on track and stick to it. Yeah, right. This lasted me like 2 months before I started to forget to write things down and ending in the planner being discarded somewhere at the bottom of my drawer. Only to find it sometime later in the future, mostly unused to my great sorrow, since I always chose one with a really appealing cover for me, and I felt sorry for not using it and throwing it away eventually. Because it was taking space and there was no point in keeping it while there weren't any important things in there. There is, however, one great advantage to this system in comparison to the bullet journal. The days are all printed out already, and you don't have to prepare anything. It is a comfortable system, that has to be said. Likely, I was able to choose a smaller size than I would with the bullet journal, meaning that it would fit in more of my bags and being less heavy than the bullet journal. All in all, from the two analog systems mentioned here, this one was easier to carry around with me. Well, but there are also great disadvantages I discovered when using this system. What could seem like relief when you have everything pre-printed could also become a hassle. Since there is not much space for you to alter things, there is no place for habit trackers and little space for things that cannot be assigned to a specific time in the future. I know you could protest against this with the fact that there are adaptable planners, with certain layouts pre-printed, but still offering you enough space to modify it to your own will by adding things. This is true, but one of my top criteria when choosing a planner are weight and portability. And unfortunately, I haven't yet found a printed planner that would meet both my needs, being enough adaptable and not extremely thick and heavy. So that left me with planners that weren't flexible. The bullet journal. Let's now compare it with the bullet journal system. I have to admit that the moment I first laid my eyes on the beautiful and artsy layouts on Pinterest, I fell in love. Instantly, I knew I had to learn how to ladder. And over my years of trying and failing, I managed to make some sort of a progress. To me, being very proud of myself for that, since I started from a total scratch. The thing was, it started as a pretty looking journal for me, and it worked for some time. It was functioning well enough. I drew what I liked, I kept trying out new fonts, new layouts, moving things around, including the trackers and more. I had weekly layouts, monthly logs. Everything worked, till the moment I decided to take it up a notch. I remember stumbling upon the videos of artists filming the process of planning out their following month, and wanted to try it myself, doing the classic Plan With Me videos. That was all so very nice, but ever since I started, the journaling process somehow became more of a chore than fun, as it used to be. I knew I had to come up with some sort of an original idea for the next month, which sometimes put me under unnecessary pressure since I kept scrolling through Pinterest and Instagram, seeing that everything was already done before. Not mentioning the fact that I couldn't just plan it anywhere, not anymore. No, I had to schedule out when to film and had to remind myself that I should prepare it, and after the filming was done, to not write anything in there until the pictures for Instagram were taken. The system lost its magic for me then. I stopped taking the journal with me. I was too aware of everything I noted down, how it looked, was it in the right color, and so on and so on. So it happened that I abandoned the system completely for some time, and my at first beloved bullet journal joined the discarded planner in the depths of my drawer. Some time passed before I chose to give it another chance, but more on that later. Leaving there a window of around 6 months when I went fully into digital planning. Firstly, this is hands down the easiest system when talking about portability and access, since mobile phone is at hand most of the time and you aren't likely to leave it at home. And I know this might sound really bad, but it's almost like the phone goes wherever you go. Besides, the calendar can be synchronized across all your devices, which is another bonus. And I have to admit that it worked for me pretty nicely for some time. I inserted my school schedule in there, which was extremely practical, though it didn't take me that long to see that even this system is flawed. In both paper systems was always a place where to write tasks, events, and other things that weren't assigned to a specific day or time in the future. That isn't quite possible in the digital calendar. You kind of always have to choose the date, or in my case, I began to write down these things into the built-in Notes app on my phone. Unfortunately, that only led to tons of reminders scattered around in many different files, making it impossible for me to recall what was I supposed to do. So I again failed in finding the ultimate planner for myself. I even tried to journal on my iPad for a short period of time in the GoodNotes app, but that didn't work out either. And here comes my second attempt at bullet journaling. This time forgoing the artistic side of it completely. I told myself, forget about others. This is your planner, your journal. It should work only for you, no one else. So stop trying to impress everyone around and focus on your own needs. That changed the game for me. And some part of me felt relieved, for that I no longer had to fulfill any expectations in terms of pleasing others, having the journal beautiful looking at all times, writing neatly, etc., etc. The truth is that as wonderful as that might seem, that your journal is a piece of art, but in all the other important aspects, it is completely useless. What is the point for such a planner? I mean, a planner you are too terrified to write in because you are afraid of ruining it. Pathetic, right? Nowadays, anyone that would look into my bullet journal would probably find it extremely messy. But you know what? That doesn't matter. It doesn't matter a bit. Because for me it works. And that is the most important thing above all. So to sum this up, there is no perfect way to go. A universal way that would be the best for everyone. It is everyone's own call to find out what suits and works best for them. It could be one of the paper systems, could be going full on digital. But never forget this one thing. Your planner is yours only.